Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Today's Valentine's Day, and it's all about loving yourself. So this meal is designed just for that. We believe in eating a plant-based diet and juicing and green smoothies. So this is a recipe that I just made up yesterday actually, and I'll be giving it to you. And it's the first thing that we will be doing is making Collard's Manicotti, and there is no pasta in this. It is all raw and vegan. So okay, here we go. I'm going to start by putting 3 stalks of celery that I've already chopped up into the food processor, a half of a onion chopped and put in there. It makes it a little less work for the food processor. That's why I pre-chop. And then we put in a cup of sprouted walnuts that we've sprouted and dried. And you can buy those from us if you don't have that opportunity to sprout the nuts and then dehydrate them. We do all the work for you. And then a cup of sunflower seeds that are also sprouted. Okie dokie. A teaspoon of salt. And just sprinkle that in there. And the rest of the ingredients will be folded in, so we're going to start by putting on the top. Here we go. Okay, so I took all the mixture out of the food processor, and this is what it looks like. So it's pretty thick. Now if you didn't want it as thick, you could add maybe like 1/4 cup of either water or lemon juice. There is no hint of lemon in here, and it would be okay to do. It would be a nice flavor. So now what we're going to do is just fold all the rest of the ingredients to make this filling. And we're going to take 1/2 cup of this. What I did was I took the sun-dried tomatoes, soaked them, and then rinsed them thoroughly, chopped them up, and then put them in. They're going into this recipe right here. Whoop. So there's 1/2 cup there. Take the stray ones and throw them in. And then 1/2 cup of the Kalamata olives. They also do make a raw sun-dried olive that you can get in your grocery store. They're in a plastic bag, and that's also something that is very tasty. But today we're doing Kalamata olives, which lends itself for a nice flavor. So that's 1/2 cup. Throw it into that mixture. And then we have 1/3 cup of basil that was finely chopped earlier today. And that's going to be thrown in there. That adds such a nice flavor. And then 1/3 cup of parsley. Yeah, let's do 1/4 cup. That's your own discretion. All these things, you know, if you want more. And as far as when you're putting this mixture into the food processor before you add all these ingredients we just added, you can make it a little more smooth or less smooth depending on your preference. If you want some the walnuts and sunflower seeds to come through a little bit, you can not blend it as long. I like it a little smooth because you do have these chunks of the sun-dried tomatoes and olives. So there we have it. There's the mixture. And now we're going to take and so I have some collard greens here. If you had another preference of a green like chard, you could use that. These have a pretty tough spine here. So I'm going to take out part of that. There's a couple ways. If your leaves were a little bigger, you could just cut them the entire length alongside of the spine of the collard. Well, this is in between the size. So I'm just going to cut out the thickest part of the spine. And then I'm just going to score these so hopefully they will bend easily when we're wrapping it. Okay. And then I'm just like to take about, probably about a half a cup, but leave about an inch from the side so you can roll it up easily and fold the sides in so it looks like that. And then we can add some fresh chopped tomatoes to that and some finely diced onions. And I was going to add a little jalapeno that I happened to chop. Where did it go? And add a little of that in there. I find that jalapenos aren't very strong, so it isn't a big deal, but that's an optional piece. So. And then a little pea sprouts if you want them, any kind of sprouts or not. There's a lot of flexibility here, nobody's grading you. And then fold in the sides, like so. And then just bring that over. Yikes, and it's kind of splitting where I cut that spine off. And then you can just put that down on the bottom. Like that. And then I made a sauce, and I took 1 medium-sized red pepper, a half of a small onion, and a teaspoon of salt, a half a cup of lemon juice, and blend that all up and add a half a cup of cashews. And that's a nice presentation. And you can also take a little paprika just to garnish it a little bit. And then, Chris, if you could hand me a heart. I need a heart. It's right behind you. Ah, hearts. So, and you can just make that for your loved one or yourself, who you should love. Take care of yourself. Anyway, that is the roll-up with the sauce. You will be getting the recipe on YouTube as well. Okay, and next we are going to make cauliflower rice. So I have 2 cups of cauliflower, always organic, by the way. Never compromise that. It's not worth, pay now, pay later is my motto. I don't think I've made that up though. And then we're going to take a half a cup of onion, as it turns out, which is about a half of a small to medium onion. And I've chopped it fine because you don't want to overpulse the cauliflower or it'll be mush. So we just have to be careful of that. And this is an very easy recipe. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of organic rice vinegar in there. Okie dokie. That just gives it a little nice flavor. Try to mix it up. A teaspoon of Himalayan salt or the salt substitute of your choice. For this, though, coconut aminos or Bragg's is, wet, so we don't want any more moisture to this. So that's why I don't use that. Okie dokie, we are set to go on this. And on this one, I'm just going to pulse until it looks like the consistency of rice. Okay, but it's not white rice. Okay, there it is. That easy. Now, in this recipe, I was inspired last night in my sleep to add dried cranberries to this. I just thought that sounded really good. So I'm just going to put a little sprinkling of that into maybe like a couple of tablespoons and mix it up. And I also had the idea, which I don't have any mint, but I like the idea of adding mint to this. I think it would be lovely. I'm adding parsley today. It adds a little more depth and interesting textures and color to this white rice, pretend rice. And I can see that it needs just a little bit more. And the cranberries are dried and they are sweetened with honey. You can get them unsweetened as well. Or you can use shredded beets in here, but just make sure that they're really dried, otherwise you will have pink rice. If you don't mind that. Okay. And here we have the cauliflower rice all ready to serve. And you can see it makes 2 to 4 servings depending on how hungry you all are. And I added the cranberries. You could dry some shredded beets and put them in there if you don't want the cranberries. I just like the look of it, and I like the idea of the mint in there as well. So I added parsley today. But that's the finished product, and look how easy that was. And here is our finished roll-up product, as well as our rice. So it's a nice little meal along with the salad. You've got yourself a healthy dinner, and that's a great way to take care of yourself and your loved ones. And now, here's to your health. And this, what you see here, this little heart, we took a slice of beet and we had a cookie cutter and we just pressed it down and sliced it up a little bit so it would fit on the glass. And here's to your health. So the name of this drink is called Beet My Valentine. And it's 1 medium beet, 1 large apple, 4 stalks of celery, 4 medium carrots, and a half of lemon juice. Now, the beet in the title is B-E-E-T, not B-E-A-T. Raw food doesn't have to be a lot of work. Anyway, find us on social media, and we have links in our description. Look forward to hearing from you. Darling, my heart was yours.